In the heart of a desolate town, cloaked in shadows and whispers of forgotten tales, stood Luna Park. Once a vibrant hub of joy and laughter, it now lay dormant, its once colorful attractions now mere skeletons in the moonlight. Its carousel, frozen in time, creaked eerily as the wind whispered secrets through its rusted spokes. The townsfolk spoke of Luna Park with hushed tones, warning of the darkness that lurked within its abandoned rides. Yet curiosity often tempts the bold, and on this fateful night, a group of daring teenagers dared to trespass its gates. Their footsteps echoed in the silence, each one swallowed by the darkness that enveloped the park. The air was thick with the scent of decay, and a sense of unease settled upon them like a shroud. They laughed nervously, trying to mask their fear with bravado as they ventured deeper into the park's depths. Their first stop was the House of Mirrors, where distorted reflections danced mockingly before their eyes. But as they moved deeper into the maze of glass, the reflections began to twist and contort into grotesque caricatures of themselves. Panic clawed at their throats as they stumbled blindly through the labyrinth, the echoes of their own screams bouncing off the mirrored walls. Finally breaking free from the House of Horrors, they stumbled upon the Ferris wheel, its skeletal frame looming ominously against the night sky. With trembling hands, they boarded the decrepit carts, the metal groaning in protest as they ascended into the darkness. But as they reached the pinnacle, a blood-curdling scream pierced the air, and one by one the carts began to sway, threatening to send them plummeting to their doom. Desperate to escape, they fled towards the roller coaster, its tracks twisting and turning like the tendrils of some malevolent beast. But as they hurtled through the darkness, they realized they were not alone. Shadows danced at the corners of their vision, whispering promises of unspeakable horrors yet to come. With every turn of the coaster, the darkness seemed to close in around them, suffocating and relentless. And as they reached the final descent, they were met with a sight that would haunt them forevermore. At the bottom of the hill, bathed in the sickly glow of the moon, stood the figure of a cloaked figure, its eyes gleaming with malevolence as it beckoned them closer. Terrified, they fled into the night, the echoes of their screams mingling with the howling wind. Luna Park stood silent once more, its secrets buried beneath layers of dust and decay, waiting for the next unsuspecting soul to awaken its dark and twisted past. In the forgotten outskirts of a sleepy town, there stood Luna Park, a relic of bygone days, its once vibrant colors now faded, its laughter silenced by the passage of time. Towering above the dilapidated rides, the Ferris wheel cast long, ominous shadows that seemed to stretch into eternity. Legend whispered of Luna Park's cursed origins, tales of a tragic accident that claimed the lives of countless souls on a moonless night many years ago. Since that fateful event, the park had been shrouded in darkness, its rusted gates serving as a warning to those who dared to venture within. But for Sarah, a young thrill-seeker with a taste for the macabre, the allure of Luna Park was irresistible. Ignoring the warnings of the townsfolk, she made her way through the overgrown pathways, her heart pounding with a mixture of excitement and fear. As she entered the park, a chill wind whispered through the empty rides, sending shivers down her spine. The air was heavy with the scent of decay, and the echoes of distant laughter seemed to linger in the darkness, haunting and ethereal. Her first stop was the Hall of Mirrors, where twisted reflections danced before her eyes, distorting her image into grotesque shapes. But as she moved deeper into the maze, the mirrors began to warp and twist, reflecting images of a long-forgotten past. She caught glimpses of faces contorted in agony, their eyes pleading for release from the eternal torment that bound them to this cursed place. Determined to uncover the truth, Sarah pressed on, her footsteps echoing against the cold, hard floors. She stumbled upon the carousel, its once cheerful melodies now replaced by a haunting symphony of creaks and groans. As she reached out to touch the rusted horses, a sudden gust of wind swept through the abandoned ride, sending the carousel spinning into motion with a deafening screech. Terrified, Sarah fled deeper into the park, her heart pounding in her chest. She found herself standing before the entrance to the House of Horrors, its dilapidated facade looming ominously before her. With a shaky breath, she stepped inside, the darkness enveloping her like a suffocating blanket. The corridors twisted and turned, leading her deeper into the heart of the maze. Shadows danced at the edges of her vision, whispering secrets of unspeakable horrors that lurked just beyond her reach. She could feel their icy breath against her skin, their voices echoing in her mind like a symphony of madness. Just as she feared she would never escape, Sarah stumbled upon a hidden chamber at the heart of the maze. Inside, she found a decrepit figure huddled in the shadows, its eyes gleaming with malevolence as it reached out to her with gnarled, claw-like hands. With a scream of terror, Sarah turned and fled, the echoes of her footsteps mingling with the whispers of the forgotten souls that haunted Luna Park. As she burst through the gates and into the moonlit night, she knew that she would never forget the horrors she had witnessed within those cursed walls. And she prayed that none would ever be foolish enough to follow in her footsteps and awaken the darkness that lay dormant within Luna Park's decaying heart. In the dead of night, beneath the silver glow of the moon, Luna Park stood like a forgotten monument to a bygone era. Its once vibrant attractions now lay in ruins, a chilling reminder of the darkness that lurked within its decaying heart. But for a group of unsuspecting thrill-seekers, the allure of the abandoned carnival proved too strong to resist. Among them was Emily, a daring young woman with a penchant for the macabre. Ignoring the warnings of the townsfolk, she led her friends through the overgrown pathways that led to Luna Park's rusted gates. The air was thick with anticipation and the scent of decay, a foreboding omen of the horrors that awaited them within. As they entered the park, a sense of unease settled over the group, their footsteps echoing in the silence like a funeral dirge. The carousel loomed before them, its skeletal horses frozen in a perpetual state of decay. Emily felt a chill run down her spine as she approached the ride, the sound of ghostly laughter echoing in her ears. Determined to uncover the secrets that lay within Luna Park's dilapidated walls, the group pressed on, their hearts pounding with a mixture of fear and excitement. They stumbled upon the Hall of Mirrors, where twisted reflections danced before their eyes, distorting their features into grotesque caricatures. But as they ventured deeper into the maze, the mirrors began to warp and twist, revealing glimpses of a nightmarish realm beyond their comprehension. Faces contorted in agony stared back at them, their eyes filled with a silent plea for release from the eternal torment that bound them to this cursed place. Shaken but undeterred, Emily led her friends towards the Ferris wheel, its towering frame casting long, ominous shadows across the abandoned park. With trembling hands, they boarded the creaking carts, the metal groaning in protest as they ascended into the darkness. As they reached the summit, a sense of dread washed over them like a tidal wave, threatening to consume them whole. Emily's heart raced as she looked out over the desolate landscape below, her gaze drawn to a figure standing at the edge of the park, its eyes gleaming with malevolence. With a cry of terror, Emily urged her friends to flee, their footsteps pounding against the cold, hard ground as they raced towards the exit. But as they reached the gates, they found their path blocked by a wall of darkness, tendrils of shadow reaching out to ensnare them. With nowhere left to run, Emily and her friends huddled together, their screams echoing into the night as Luna Park's dark and twisted secrets enveloped them in their icy embrace. And as the moon disappeared behind a shroud of clouds, the abandoned carnival was once again swallowed by the darkness, its mysteries hidden from the world for eternity.